Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Well, it's great to see you all. Good morning to everyone watching live too on the live stream in these very different times that we're living at the moment. So, but I think it's also, in a way, positive as, you know, a lot more people can actually watch us this morning. So before I start, I wanted to, of course, I'm Natalia Muscat, one of the councillors at the Gladstone Regional Council, and I'm here to welcome you all on behalf of the Mayor, the councillors, and the whole region, pretty much. So I'd like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land in which we're meeting today, and I'd like to pay my respects to elders past, present, and emerging. And today I was given the task of talk a little bit about Ping, introduce you to Ping, and welcome you all here this morning. Before, I wanted to also acknowledge, firstly, of course, Ping, our artist, and Ping's family. I see a number of them here, and I'm sure you are so very proud. Ping's daughters, they're running around here, and I've known them since they were this little, and now they're this little, or this big. I also wanted to acknowledge the staff at the gallery. We have Cameron, Michelle, and a couple of other girls at the back, I think. Thanks very much for doing this. I always say that, I guess, you know, arts and culture are that little heart of our community. So I see you guys like these little things, you know, making our heart tickle and working, so we don't forget who we are and how we can express ourselves. So also we have a couple of other staff members here doing our live stream. These guys have been working really hard, Darren and team, and we're very grateful to have you. So because without you, we wouldn't be able to go live to, you know, so many more people. I wanted to, just before I read a little bit about Ping and my, you know, the little introduction I was given, I just wanted to let you know, I've known Ping for a long time, and we have a couple of things in common. Definitely, you know, not my skills at painting, because I'm not very good at that. But Ping and I moved to Gladstone in the same year, so 2007, and the other thing we have in common is that we come from faraway lands, so that's why we sound a little bit different when we speak. And I guess that's why I'm also especially proud this morning, because it's, you know, we all work hard for what we want, but when, you know, we come from different places, have different challenges, and that we always have to work that little bit harder. So, and I know a few people here might also relate to that. So it's a special proud moment, I guess, for me to be here this morning introducing you to everyone. So congratulations. I'm going to read you the little introduction, and then we're going to have Ping right here talking to you all about her wonderful exhibition. So local artist ping-carlyon was born in Taiwan, and after marrying moved to Gladstone in 2007. Taiwanese education in the arts for both high school and university includes learning the practice of traditional Chinese painting and Chinese brush calligraphy, as well as charcoal and watercolors. Ping holds a bachelor degree in the arts. During her university studies, Ping developed her own watercolor style, which she calls ribbon. Australian portrait artist David Wells has been Ping's biggest influencer. Having attended 2 of his workshops, Ping was amazed by the fact that he is self-taught. Through her current exhibition, Our Shining Stars, Ping shows her journey of portrait skills and wishes to provide the message to never stop practicing and trying, to never stop trying to reach your goal. So if you don't mind, if you join me in welcoming Ping to the microphone, so she can give us her artist talk. Be careful, over there.
Thanks, Natalia. Good morning, everyone. So thank you very much for the art gallery to holding this event, and thanks everyone for coming. Last week when I got the rundown, there's only 8 people on the list. I was a bit nervous, and there's 4 people is actually my family. So I was gonna get some carpool audience to make it look better, but I really appreciate that everyone come today. Thank you. So I'm from Taiwan, and I do study arts, but watercolor I found was my favorite media. So during my study that I created a style called ribbon, and I have a piece there. And so I'll talk about this piece first. So ribbon means like every string is a really fine line, and I use it to complete a painting. And I got inspired of this blue one here from a Disney movie named Coco. Have anyone seen it? So it's about people's life. So at the beginning, it's like a baby blue. So it's very straight, like very a fine routine, like getting fed and waking up and go to sleep, like a really routine. And then when they grow up, they start to learn how to crawl. So they got a little bit deeper. The color got deeper, and they start to change. They try really hard, and learning their skill, go to work. And so in the end, when they grow up, they got deeper again, and then they try less, they care less, because they more mature now. So they try less to please people and find their own color. So they got deeper, so they're more settled, and then they pass away. So that's the meaning of the painting. Sorry, I'm being nervous now. So, but when I decided that I want to do an exhibition, that I choose portrait instead of the ribbon, because portrait wasn't something I good at. So I think if I can hold an exhibition on a portrait, so that's also a goal for myself to master my skill. And then I can prove that I can do it. And that's why I decided to do portrait exhibition instead of ribbon exhibition. So beforehand, I always want to have an exhibition, but I don't know how. And does anyone know how to hold an exhibition? I don't know either. So what I did is I approached Jo Duke, the last manager of the gallery. I went to see her one time, and I said, "Hey, Jo, how do I hold an exhibition here?" I thought, hi, Jo. And I thought, how do I do this? I don't know how. Do I got an invitation, or do I have to prove something to hold an exhibition? And she said, "Oh, no, you go to the website, you download the application, and then we'll go from there." So I went home. I have a look, but it's all in English. And I hate paperwork, so my laziness kind of take it over. So I left it. And I can't even remember how long, probably 6 months or probably a year later, I got an email or a phone call from the gallery saying, "Hey, Ping, are you still interested to go ahead with the exhibition?" And I said, "All right, that's my call. That's my cue. I need to go ahead." So, and I emailed back to Jo, and I say, "Oh, I want to have a portrait exhibition." And I remember she wrote me back, and she said she was concerned. I even showed my husband my email. I said, "What does she mean when she's concerned?" And I do know, because my portrait skill back then wasn't good. And I think everyone knows my ribbon style than the portrait. So in a quickly short time, I try really hard to collect all my recent portrait back then. And I approached Kylie and Candace, and hopefully I can draw something about that to bring it to the meeting to show that I have been practiced and I think I can do this. So at a meeting, that was Jo and Claire, and then we have a talk, and Jo actually said to me, "Oh, you can't," because the portrait I bought was my daughter's and Candace, and she said to me, she said, we can't have an exhibition at the gallery. It's all about your kids. So I thought about the topic, and is paint about a really talented sports kids in our local. And I think it's a good way that combine two very different activities together, sports and art. And also I think those kids are doing very well, and they need a stage for people to see how good they are. And like, of course, I still sneak my two girls in. They do very well, and I'm very proud of them too. So at a meeting I have to go back and complete my application. Like, everyone have to do that part. I didn't skip that. I went home and finished my paperwork. So at a meeting that we decided the date we wanted and the theme of the exhibition, and also I bought my portrait and showed them, and also we decided that Claire had this really good idea. So next to the portrait, we could display some personal item that connected to the kids, and I thought that was really good idea, and that's how we have today. Like, yeah. And I decided that, maybe we can do a little document video to show like behind the scene, like how do they train. I think that's interesting, or like an interview, how do they feel about the sports and all that. And after that, we signed an agreement, and that's the beginning of my exhibition, and that was, I think, August 2019 last year. So finding the kids was probably my easiest process in the whole project, because there are so many talented kids. So when I planned this, I have to there's even boys and even girls. So I found 7 boys, 7 girls. They're all local, and all of them have been competed, represented our Gladstone to Queensland, national or international. They all try very hard. I'm really proud of those kids, and there's 12 different sports. So when I plan this, I have to target different age group as well. I can't have everyone 10 years old. I can't have it, so I have to even it out. And also, when I plan this, I plan some indoor sports and some outdoor sports. And also there is solo individual sports and team, and also including partnership. And that's the frame when I plan this. So when I target the kids, I have a one-on-one meeting with the older parents. The first step we to do is signing agreement. I think I didn't learn this before, but I learned it like through the workshop attached with David Well. He made the big point, like, when you're doing portrait, you have to sign agreement, because it's their face that you're using. You don't want to be in trouble later on. So everyone have to agree that I painting the kids, take a photo of the kids, and these kids are gonna be shown in the exhibition, or I might enter into the art prize. Like, I'll have to sign an agreement. That's the first step, doing a portrait. And then I'll have another meeting and organize a photo shoot. And then I also take dates down, like when do they train, when do they comp for the next 12 months. And I'll date it all and fit into my schedule, and I start to following them for the video introduction. So the first thing I have to do for the portrait is actually photo shoot. Photo shoot are very important. Like, Natalia is a very, very good photographer. But the photo for the portrait is different, quite different. Like, I'm aiming for the detail, so they have to be really, really fine. They have to be very detailed, so I can enlarge it and see every single spot. So it's slightly different what you aim for a normal photo shoot. And I always take my own photo because I got the copyright. Like, there's some parents, when I approach them, because they're all very busy, so they say to me, oh, I got a good photo, can we use that? And I always say no to them, because maybe another photographer take that photo, then I will causing lots of problem later on. And plus, when I do the portrait, I always have a plan in my mind. So I always plan it like how do I want it and how would I present it. The energy I want to bring out from the kids, or how would I like to show the post, like the sports. So I always take my own photo. And for example, like this is a piece I done for the can't remember that price. Panda-port, yes. Thanks, Phil. So I took Sharon and the girls, and when I take that photo, when I want to do that portrait, I want to find a love connection between the mom and the daughter. So the girls love the mom, and the mom's working hard to look after the girls. So when I take the shoot, that's what I'm aiming for. So when I approach them, and Sharon said, "Oh, that is a good photo. Can we use that one?" It is a good photo, but for me, that's not what I'm looking for. So I choose this one because it's showing the connection between the three, and it's showing more love, like the deeper the love. Some people might not agree with it, but that's the reason that I always take the photo, because I know what I'm looking for. Does that make sense? So of course, when I take a photo shoot, I choose all 12 different range of the sports, and also I have to split them into some of will be indoor shot, some will have to be outdoor shot, as you can see, and some is just a zoom in head, some is half body, and some is like the full body, because it gives you a variety of everything, and also give me a chance to practice all different size and that. And I have some still pose, and some is moving shot, some is the front, some in the side. It's all different angles, so you don't have to look the same. And also the lighting is very important too. Like some of the light you can find is behind the portrait, behind the person, and some is some is in front of the person, and some is behind the person. That lighting will show a different feeling to the person as well. So what I say is photo quality are very important. Like I found over the years when I practice, if the photo I got is not good enough, it's very, very hard to complete it. For example, we took about 600 photos to get a good shot, because Ace doesn't like me. Ace is the horse, and I don't like him either because I got allergy. So every time I sneeze, I stir the horse up. And somehow Elle's mom hoped the horse ear can stand up. I think it's the whole show, in the whole shows, the ear of the horse have to stand up like that to make it look pretty. But I just have a good shot that the ear standing up, everyone's looking nice, and a good light and everything. So wait, and I have to using this photo. I still love this photo. It shows a nice connection between the partnership. They trust each other, and also they're looking at the same direction. The light is perfect, and Elle's on a beautiful outfit. So I have to use the photo. But the problem is, this photo, her eyes is in the shade. So what I did is I did Photoshop it to make it lighter. But Natalia must know, once you Photoshop, it blurs. So it was really, really struggle. It's probably my most struggle one to complete, because portrait, I think the key is the eyes. Like you have to get the eyes right. They have to look real, and they have to look like the person. So it's hard. So after that, nobody wear hat. If their outfit have a hat, take it off. I can't do this again. So that's it. Yeah. So for example, when I do a portrait, that no matter how big is the photo, I always have to enlarge and go to the eyes first. So you have to see there is the eyelid, but there's actually 3 parts, even just that bit. The top bit skin, where the eyelash sit, and then it's the inside folded, it's the deep. So what's what I found for a good real eyes looking, you have to get that 3 right, and the texture of the eyeball should be glossy. So you have to, it's a different reflection than the skin reflection. So you have to get that part right. That's how I found is the key for the nice real looking portrait. I'll show you a painting I've done at a workshop. It's all right. So I went to David Will's workshop. This is what I practiced at the workshop. We spent 2 days, I think 12 hours to study how to do a good eyes, and that's what I learned. You know, like you have to get the eye, the texture of the skin, the reflection right to do a good eye, and that's the key. And that's why every single photo I got, the first thing I do is large the eyes. If I have to able to see all that detail, then I'll go ahead. So here is a little video of my process of the portrait. First, I will use a projector to mark the spot, and then I will use to draw all the detail by my eyes, because I found you can't trust the projector. My projector is only $100, so when I projected it, it still looks like mosaic. Like it doesn't give you a fine detail. And so I marked the spot with the projector, and then I use my eyes to finalize the detail. And then I give a few wash first. I call it wash. I don't know how does other people call it. So when I wash the whole background, it kind of bring a nice atmosphere and my feeling to it, and it give it a deep as well. I quite like that. And then I will go through the face, like layer by layer, layer by layer. I did this piece. This is probably my last 3. The last 3 pieces that I done for this portrait. So I have limited time. It still took me over 20 hours, but I think it was 2 weeks before the openings, I was still painting this one. And then I had 1 week to finish the last 3. So it was quite stressful, but I think if you go through the whole exhibition, you can sense it. But I did try very hard to hide that nerve. Yeah. So each scene will take layer by layer, and I think I learned in the end, and I try to develop my own portrait style is like try to do the eyes, the nose, the mouth really fine and detailed, but in the end I try to ease off the unnecessary part, which is like like I think the clothes doesn't matter. I'll just give it a feeling instead of painting all single detail, and I quite like that. So the skin color is quite important too, especially Skylar, my daughter, she's on the top, she's slightly darker, so you have to use different brown to bring that up. And then it's the clothes. So there is a really beautiful clothes. It's the clothes that was displayed on the back. Yeah, but I try to ease off that part because I want the audience to focus on their face and their hand. Because I think for this portrait, the hand was really important. It represents the power and the cooperating. So that's another main piece for this. All right, we can move on to the next one. Oh, sorry. So part of the display is video documentary. It was my idea. And I asked myself many times during the last 12 months why I'm doing this, because it's really hard for me. First, I was be rusty. I'm out of school for 15 years now, so it was a rusty skill for me to pick it back up again and plus it's 2020. So what I learned from the school means really nothing, because the technology has been updated, the program has been updated, so I have to start from the scratch. It is a documentary, so it's good that I don't have to write a script. I just follow the kids with the training. They just do what they're doing, and I film them on the side. But it is a lot of struggle. I have to go through it because I have to update my laptop, because my laptop is that old that doesn't even do editing. I have to get a new GoPro because you need a proper device to able to film the thing. So documentary is hard, but I think I try my best to do it. And I have another problem is when I plan it, I try to follow them for the last 12 months. But we all know the COVID happened in March, so it ruined all the schedule. A lot of the kids, for example, I was gonna do Robbie Lee on a training session. I said, oh, let's do Robbie Lee quickly. And then the mom said, yeah, we'll do it today. And 4 o'clock and 3:30, I got a phone call saying it's canceled. So I got no training of the Robbie Lee, but we still did quite well. We did it in the backyard. The dad is the coach, so we got some footage of that, and we do some interviews, so we covered by that. So there is a lot of plan has been canceled, but I think, it is a documentary. We try to catch this year, so we bring the COVID in. So instead of filming and training with the kids that I don't have enough footage, I film them. Life has been changing, affected by the COVID, but because I think we need to know this too, in 20 years time, we might forget what happened. And this one of the video that, okay, we remember it, and we remember how much it's affecting us. And another thing that I want to mention with the video is that I really struggle with it because I didn't realize how much it cost me. Like, it was really lucky that I won a prize last year, so I used the prize money to upgrade my laptop and get a GoPro. But following all 12 kids with 12 activity, it still cost me a lot of money. And I really worry, and I don't want to give up because I don't want to have a okay work. I want to try my 100%. I want to catch them all. I want to do a best job I can. So I was upset, and I checked into my friend. My friend actually mentioned this RIDF funding to me. Does anyone know about RIDF? I didn't know about it either. I have no idea what is it for. So RIDF is a funding that the Queensland government and the Gladstone Council did together. It is an art funding. They fund drama, music, and art. And so you have to go to the gallery. Gallery, I think, is the window that you can get the application. It was really hard, but you do get lots of support and help. That was my document that I had to take in. It takes me forever. Beside the video, this is a hard part for me because it's all in English. I have to go through many people to get the reference, explain what I'm doing like 100 times, and collect all the paperwork. But it was really good that you get the support, because I can't imagine how hard it would be if I don't have the funding. I probably won't able to find the music people to do this, and it was really hard for me if I don't get the funding. So thanks for RIDF. So once I start video, I want to introduce what I use for my video program. So this is a GoPro. I bought it especially for doing this. GoPro is very easy to use. As you can see that it's lightweight, and it's waterproof. So I filmed the whole documentary by this little tiny machine. So because it have a lot of attachment, so I can put it on the stick and put it at ceiling high, just like that one. But with the old machine, you need a ladder. You have to probably get insurance to get the big thing and then do that. And I can put it on the floor like this, and I got Dylan to fly over the GoPro. But with the old machine, I will have to lay on the floor, you know, and hope that he didn't touch me. And I can mount it on the bike. I can mount it on the people. And this is Dylan again when he's on the BMX track. And I got really, really cool image. And GoPro is 4K as well. So it's a really fine quality, and it's portable. And I don't have to buy an extra microphone. I use the microphone built in. But I did have a problem that when I first video it, when Logan, the lady, the little girl behind that on that wall, when March, she actually is from America. She do marathon, and on March I got a phone call from her mother. They have to leave, the whole family have to move back to America like in 2 days time because the COVID. So she rang me and said, let's finish this really quick. So I quickly run to the house and try to interview her because they're moving. So we have to go to the balcony. And we done the interview, everything was good. But I went home, and when I listened to it, there was like truck, kookaburra, birds. And by the time I listened to the video, she already left. So I learned from that, like when you're using a GoPro, because you don't have another attachment, you don't have a proper thing, it can video well, but you have to in a closed space, and don't do it on the balcony. So I mount this GoPro on the basketball hook and get Mitch to shoot it, and he did, and he shoot the GoPro too. Yes. But I actually use this. I think it's quite cool, so I use it for the end of it. And it's so small too, so I can actually put it on the chessboard, and you feel like you got a different angle when kids are playing. Yeah, but the problem with GoPro, because it's running 4K, that's the time wrap that I put it on Logan when she do a marathon at nighttime. I'll make a mistake too, because I thought, oh, she's gonna run for a good hour, so I'll do a time wrap. So I got like good 30 seconds out of it, but she run fast. So you can see a time wrap plus fast running, like I can't use that image at all. It's just way too wobbly. And that's another time wrap that in the end it was the cloud going past. Oh, sorry. So when I do in the video, there's another problem is I can't do filming. I'm learning over the 12th month to improve my editing, but I cannot play music. And I think when you're having a good video, you need a good image and you need a good story, but a really important part is you need a good music to it. And once I got a founding, I approached Kelly and Dylan. That is their band, they call Strange Like Us. Dylan is in Brisbane, and they've been working together as a music partner the last 7 years. They made their own music, but I think they never perform, or they never do it, like show any of the music. So it was a really good chance for me. They got on board for this, and it's a very good chance for them that they're able to show their music to everyone. So they, especially, I taught them what the sports is and how long I want the music, and they made the music to fit into the sport and the kid. And they give me a really nice 14 track. So when I do the video editing, I collect the footage. Footage is including how they train and the competition. And as I said before, because the COVID has been affecting my plan, so I changed the video, like the way that we shot are different. Like the purse bag have to install at the counter, and we have to stay 1.5 meters apart, no cash payment in front of the shop, And we had Anzac Day driveway. We had to sanitize our hands, Zoom training and Zoom competition. I used this instead of my plan, and I think it wasn't a bad thing. And I use Adobe Premiere Pro as my editing program. It is very hard to learn, but thanks for YouTube. If you guys want to learn, that's how I learn. If you want to learn Adobe, you can Google it. You can Google everything, and there's so many. It is still hard. You still have to give it a good practice. But that's how I learned. And I was quite exciting for that, because back home we have to go to a course, we have to do 6 months practice, but now you can actually learn software of YouTube. And so our process is Dylan and Kelly, they will do the music track. They go back and forth online a few times, probably many hours they put in. I didn't, for the work they put in, I think the money I paid them is never enough. They do a beautiful job. And so they gave me the track they finished. They will have a title like Basketball Acro. And then I will listen to the music for a long time. I'll learn a few times. I got a good feel of the music, and I will part the music. I'll part it for, there's a twist, and there's a twist, and there's a twist. And then, for example, I'll play this one. And I'll go back to the music track. I will mark the transaction part. When is a twist, I'll mark it. And then I'll go back to the interview with the kids, and I'll listen to the interview and get the good parts that I think, this part is keepable, that part is keepable. So I combine the interview talking, I combine the music, and then I go back to my video footage. I find the part with the fitting to the storyline, and that's how I complete in the editing. But a good editing, that you also need a good transition and an effect, and that's what I learned from the YouTube, that you can do a lot of fancy transition, and the transition have to fit into the music as well. And in the end, I'll put in subtitle. And thanks for Dylan, that the musician, that he have patiently fixed all my spelling mistake for me. Yes, as you can see, the video will have to be at the same tempo as the music, and what they say, and will have to fit into the footage as well. And I like the part that in the end I'll find a really inspiration quote, and I'll highlight it in the end. So nothing is planned. When I interview them, they say what they want, they say how they feel, and then that's what I like about documentary, because that's them. Oh, sorry. All right, I did write a list for this just in case I forgot to mention some name. In the end, I would like to say a big thanks to all 14 kids who's in this project, and all the parents, coach, and the sport club that supporting me and helping me. And thanks to Kelly and Dylan, who's taking the music part and doing such a great job. Thanks Claire, Cameron, Joe, and all the other lovely staff at the art gallery who helped me to put this whole exhibition together. Thanks for the R&D funding that helped me so I'm not broke. Thanks to Di, Sharon, Bindi, and all the others who helped me with the paperwork for the R&D funding. And last but not least, thanks for my husband, my girls, Lydia, Skylar, and my in-law family, that to put up with me the last 12 months, that I appreciated your help, your support, and your understanding. I know this is a solo exhibition, but I can't do this without all of you. And I know many of you that come to this exhibition that think, these kids have talent, and Ping might get talent. But I want to have a point is, talent is not what made these kids so successful this day. It's the effort they put in. That I do know I try really hard, and I practice a lot to reach my goal, and I think that's what I want to bring to this exhibition, that I hope everyone can actually know how hard they train, how hard they put in to reach their goal, instead just, you know, expecting everything will come to them. Thank you very much.
I think we have a few minutes for questions. So
Yes. Oh, Q&A. Yes.
Sorry.
Yeah, you're right.
we can have all.
I just think it's amazing that technology has come so far that these used to be people's jobs,
Yeah.
and you can just all do it. It's just.
I know. I feel like I can be a YouTuber now. Yes. And
With the 14 kids, did they ever get together as a group?
so with the 14 kids, have they ever get together as a group? No, because they are very busy. Like some of the kids train 7 days a week, and it's really hard for me with my schedule, and my lovely husband's working away. So it's even hard for me to line up a schedule with their training hours. And my poor 2 kids, sometimes I have to drag them along. For you to see now a minute and 35 seconds video, but some of the video took me 20 hours to film. And I have to go meet them at every training, and training is usually at 3 to 4 hours, and I can't get one training. I have to go few section and the competition. So it's really hard to get them along together. Yeah. Any other question? Oh, sorry.
One sec, David.
Look.
Time to the process of painting that you come across blockages?
Sorry?
In the process of painting, do you come across blockages?
Blockages mean, sorry.
Feeling like, you get stuck?
Do I ever feel like I stuck with my painting skill? Yeah. I did get stuck, but you just have to find why and just keep practicing. So what I did is I actually started to practice portrait not just the last 12 months. I've been doing it since I want to do it, because I never can do it very well. So I always study us, like looking at this portrait, like really see what do they use the color, and why they present it in this way, why this way, and what color I can use. Or maybe it's my brush, something wrong with my brush, I can get a new brush. Or maybe it's the paper is not heavy enough. Like I keep trying and just keep practicing. And yeah, I found it was really helpful that me attached to David Will's workshop. I went to 2 of his workshops. I bought another piece here just in case. Like this is my portrait 5 years ago, and I thought I did real good back then. But I fished it out yesterday, and I'm thinking, oh yeah, I can see why I couldn't do it. Was the depth or the time I put in is not enough. That sort of thing. I didn't see that much detail. You don't paint a nose, you paint every single pores. Does that make sense? When you do an eyebrow, you can see the eyebrow I did. I just go eyebrow, 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 eyebrow. But no, eyebrow is not eyebrow. Like for example, Lydia's eyebrow, the hair right here have to go this way, and then it goes this angle, and then it going this way. Like, and every single part have different colors, and I never sensed that before. So I think you need to be not satisfied of what you've done, and then that's the key to break that block. Does that make sense? Yeah. And I think it's very important too that you find your own way. And the one thing I like about art is art has so many different forms. There's so many portrait artists I like. They don't even use projector. They just, brush big chunk of paint there, big chunk of them there, and it looks so good. So I'm not saying that you have to do all the detail, but you just have to try a different way and find your own way to present it. Does that help? Does that answer your? And sorry.
I was going to ask whether you use masking fluid or something to stop. How do you stop the background from
Touching.
touching?
So do I use masking liquid?
Yeah.
Yeah. I do use masking liquid, but I don't use masking liquid to part the person and the background. I usually just give it a wash. So when I use the masking, I usually use it a fine reflection, which is like the eyeball, because eyeball is gloss. So you need that really fine to use the masking liquid. But there's a tip about masking liquid is you don't use it on a raining day, because it's true. Because when it's on the raining day, it's too wet. So the wet will go into your paper, and your paper will be damp. So when you put the masking liquid on top of your paper, it actually join together. So when you remove it, you will leave the mark of the masking tape, masking liquid on the paper. So it doesn't leave you a white, it actually leaves you a stain. So that's what I learned. I learned actually from the last 12 months for these 12 kids. Yes, so that masking liquid could be a good friend, but also can ruin the whole thing. You just have to be very careful. But I use very fine brush. I only use number 2, like quite fine. Even for large portrait like this, I use small brush and you do it small by small. But that's my style. Like everyone have different.
Some people use a stick rather than a brush because it tends to ruin the brush. The fluid.
I know, but my brush got ruined all the time. Like I asked my husband how much brush I bought. Yeah, I do. You go through it quite a lot, and if the tip is not sharp, I have to go to the kids pile. Yeah, I found you don't need a good studio. You don't have to be a pretty studio. You can do it on a dining table. You can do it at the kids' room. You can do it anywhere, but you don't be cheap on your material. You have to have the good paper. You have to get a good brush and good watercolor.
The other thing I want to ask
Yes.
is, do you stretch your paper?
Do I stretch my paper? Yeah. No, because I don't know how to stretch your paper. Well, I actually first heard the name stretcher paper from David Will's workshop. He said, "Oh, we stretch the paper now." I was like, "What? Stretch the paper?" I don't stretch the paper. I think it's not a Taiwanese thing. I do know that some of my paper, especially the big piece, when the wet goes through it, it go wobbly. I think that's the fact that when you don't stretch your paper, the moisturizer seems to give that little uneven wobble. To be honest, I just deal with it. I found stretch the paper, yeah, I don't think it's necessary to my painting. Yeah, sorry. Any other question? Yes.
This is just a personal question about yourself.
Yes.
You've just been on this amazing, creative, time-consuming journey, and you've become a YouTuber, and you've learned how to use a GoPro, and a few other things. Are you going to take a well-deserved rest, or has the bug bitten you? You've gained a lot of skills over the past 12 months.
Yes,
No, she's already got something booked.
Well, for how much time I put on this, and for that question, I think this exhibition really stretched my family's limit. I have to admit it, and I can't even focus sometimes when I go to work. You can ask my boss there. Like, so many times I give the wrong change, or I wasn't thinking. I wasn't even thinking yesterday when I worked too. Well, it does really stretch my time limit, and that's why I appreciate that my family let me do this. And I think in the future, I will need to consider that more. I don't have a big plan. I think, and I don't want to be a YouTuber either. I don't have a big plan, but I want to continue doing this. And maybe instead of 12 months, I should give myself 24 months instead. I think that.
Put your application in the first year. We talked about this.
And thanks, Jo. She's the lady that made this happen. Because if it's not her, that I would just let my laziness take over. So yes, every now and then you need a Jo in your life that give you a little push.
And actually, can I ask him? So the reason why I was a bit concerned when we first discussed it was everybody will know her extraordinary, detailed, lovely pieces that she would often win the prize for because they were these undulating, gorgeous, patterned works, which when you look into them, they were very realistic, but they weren't as emotionally connected to somebody outside yourself, and that's what was worrying about this one. So these works are very different in all of the emotive use that you have to do as a painter to create those. Which way do you like painting? Both, obviously, you're very skilled at.
So which way do I like? Do I like the ribbon or do I like the portrait that I did today? I have to be very honest. I think I like my ribbon better. I don't mind portrait and I enjoy doing it, but I'm doing it. I didn't know I like it so much till I taken this challenge to myself to set this goal. I really enjoyed the whole process, and I didn't know I would have such a strong connection with these kids and a touch with what they do either. And I think that's why I try to bring it out. But as an artist, that I probably have more selfish feeling to my life. Like, for example, the last few years I entering the Mount Hanson, it is all about how I feel and what I like and all my life. And sometimes you do connect with other people and sometimes you don't, but for me, that is me. And I found sometimes instead of trying to do a painting that please everyone, or just paint a painting, a piece that express yourself, I think I can do better just expressing myself.
Well, in fact, if you think about the ones I know of yours, they're all almost self-portraits, but in a non-figurative way. The elements about your home, about
Yeah.
So that's a really interesting difference, I think, is that you bring all those elements that people can relate to, but obviously relate to you, but they're not this outside component.
Yes.
So I find them very different, the two ways of making them very different.
And I think that is for me, is a learning process too, that learn to bring the community to this art and connect with other people. And instead of just expressing myself, I try to express these people's energy. And that's why I think I learned from this exhibition that I did grow up. But I do like to do my own thing better.
Other question? One other question, Ping. Did any of the children really surprise you? Which one of the children outside of your family do you think really surprised you the most?
You mean these kids?
Yeah.
I have to say they're all surprising me, and I'm surprising how much they're putting to what they're doing. But what I have to say is, what the talent is not what I surprise, is the effort. For example, like my daughter Skylar there, she will come to me or say, "Oh, mommy, I can't do that backsole, whatever word that is." And Lydia will say to me, she said, "Oh, mom, I can't do the piano, I can't do this." And I always say to them, "Have you given it 100 go?" I say, after the 100 go, if you can't do it, you give 800 go. Like, and I think all those people, all these kids in this room that is sending in that energy to me, like they always give probably 8,000 go to achieve what they achieve. And I think that's what I try to do with my portrait too. When I display this, I try to display it as a time frame, like the beginning of my portrait to the end. So I hope everyone can see my little process in my skill, that I am try to find my own style in the portrait, and I try to master the skill a little bit better too. Does that answer your question? Is there any other question?
I was just going to comment on the chess piece on that portrait.
Yes.
It seems that if you just took the piece a little further away or a different position, it would have changed the character of that painting so much. And I'm wondering, did you experiment? See the way it just kisses
Just
the eye?
right there? Yeah.
Just the eye, yet if it was there, it would be different.
Yeah.
Very different. And I'm just wondering whether that was a bit of luck or whether you really had to concentrate on where you would hold the chess piece.
So when I decided the pose, is it a luck? Some of them are, I have to say, but before I approach the kids, I actually have a plan. What I want this 14 kids portrait looks like. I can't have everyone have the basketball like this and chess like this. So I do have a plan that some of them will be a close shot, some of them will be a half body and long image. Like, I have to have a plan. So when I plan for Lydia, I do know I want a front shot. So that's why we play around few shots to get a good one. Yes, so it is a little bit luck, but I did plan it to have the chest bit near her head.
Yeah, right, just off her eye.
She's a poser too. she can give me all sorts of poses, and I always go back to the kids and the parents say, hey, how do you feel about this one? Yeah. Yes. So some of them are good like by luck, but I do plan how I want this. Yes. Is there any other question that anyone want to say? Do you want me to sing a song?
Yeah.
Ask you a question.
Yes.
You were saying you're planning on exhibiting further afield, like
Video? No, I think I'm retired from the video.
No, exhibiting your work in other districts.
Sorry, district means.
City.
Oh yes, yes. I do. That's my goal. Like I think over the past few years, I work my yearly schedule by Martin Hansen Award. I will say when is the due date, and I'll work few months beforehand, and then that's my yearly plan of my artwork. You know, I plan when do I do and when do I start painting. That's my work. But because I think I was quite lucky that won a good prize last year, and I think maybe I should go somewhere else in case Gladstone people sick of it. So, and I think it is a good to like. I love Martin Hansen. Like I love to see the whole town's exhibition. Like there's so many artists that surprised me. I think that like. And especially with Martin Hansen, there's lots of work, have a strong connection with our community, with our environment, and I like that. But that's my goal. Like I do want to get out of the comfort zone. That maybe I can try Agnes water. Agnes water, 5K at a time.
There's lots of prizes in the country you can put in for, and you should probably start thinking about doing that.
I think I am, but I always think about transportation is a problem. Like every time I deliver, do I have to drive there? I will try harder, but it is my goal. It is. Yes.
Sorry, Joe, can I just ask you, when is the Mark Hansen? It's next month, isn't it?
That's Canberra.
October the 16th.
Thank you.
So everyone happy? Thank you so much for coming. Really means so much to me. Thank you.
Well, I hope everyone enjoyed the talk as much as I have. Well, I'm sure you have. I can see it in your faces. So, sorry, I also wanted to acknowledge Jo, that she's back here visiting us. She used to be our manager and curator of the gallery, and we're very happy to have you back here, even if it's just for a day. But I'm sure you all agree that if there's someone that doesn't think that she's as good as she is, it's her. So I think we should all pitch in and then make a list of all the art competitions around the country. So we make sure that she sends an entry to all of them, because we love to have a Gladstone artist somewhere else. So I think it's actually a matter of regional importance that we do that.
Oh, thank you.
Because we're going to claim you. Yeah.
I'll try act toward, I promise.
We could, yeah, I'm sure we'll, yeah. You can at least start with Rockhampton. Yeah, and I think Ping was talking about earlier what she likes most too, and if you have a look at the front there, that's I think one of the things that she was talking about, when she likes to express herself and put herself in a, you know, in an artistic way to express her feelings and her sense of belonging or lack of belonging or challenges that she has, and you know, from the different things that happen around her life, you know, from migration to motherhood to marriage to RADF applications. So, and yeah, and one more thing I wanted to say, and I don't think it's a coincidence that Ping picked high achieving kids in her exhibition, because she's just one of them as well. So, and again, you know, I don't see, when she talks about how she admires the kids and the effort that the kids put into their sport, well, we've seen her doing exactly the same thing. So there's, someone should do an exhibition on you too. And that's probably the last thing, but before I go, I also wanted to note that because we have this wonderful technology and we can go live to anywhere in the whole wide world, Ping's family might be watching too. So, which is something that it was never possible before. And I also experience that when it comes to work and we do our council live meetings. My parents have seen me at work, which they had never been able to. So thank you, everyone. And please stay, you know, there's wonderful art around us, and enjoy it. So thank you.